He gone.
One. And I guess Betty Ford. That's something.
Is New Perspective still around, or is he gone?
I think he had to dip out. Were you wanting to give him some hell?
No, I just wondered how he's been doing the rounds with a 2-pole flat Earth model. I just wondered how it had been received. I know 24/7 say that they're open to it, considering it, but so I just wondered if you got any feedback.
I was going to ask him about that too. I totally forgot.
Yeah. First time I came across New Perspective was QE talking about him. QE said that he was giving him some clips. He was gathering clips of things like EA, and so that he could use it for his treatments against the what's he call EA?
Yeah, New Perspective just posts clips on his channel.
Yeah, it's awesome.
He's not doing it for QE. He just posts them, and then QE might take them and put them in his videos or whatever. But New Perspective's just doing it for everybody. He just cuts different parts out and posts them up.
Yeah, that's what QE said in the beginning before he got lots of videos on his channel. In the beginning, when he had a few, he said New Perspective was getting him some clips. Anyway, I just wondered how it had been received, because I noticed he hasn't done it over on the Flip Side server yet for FED. I wondered when he was going to go over there and present it to them, but anyway, it's interesting to know what feedback, get some feedback on how it was received, really.
Well, dude, you're about 15 minutes late. What the fuck is wrong with you? You're gonna have to work on that.
You what?
I said you're about 15 minutes late. You're gonna have to worry about. You're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah, maybe I'll catch him next time. That's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, Larry, that Jane Pierce may be incorrect. I mean, here's a picture I just posted here. That's what, like on the internet, it looks like a different person when you.
10 minutes.
So, Elderbear, where has New Perspective been talking about it? You're referring to about a dual pole? You said.
Oh, he presented it on 24/7. I think it's been a bit of the back chat stuff for the top tier flat earthers who are doing all their expositions over there. And
he presented it? He actually went over there and presented it? Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
Perspective, he dropped it in the back chats for him to have a look at, and he's talking about E1. He seems to be being instructed by E1 somehow. Who's some dude who's got fuck all on YouTube, 2 or 3 sort of videos, and don't know who he is, but he seems to be the core instructor, it seems. But anyway,
E1,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta. I mean, somebody. Here it is. Everybody keeps asking, well, where's your model, and what about this, and what about that? Somebody presents something. It's just so funny to see the reaction, like the automatic dismissal. Like, what is that? Like, if you really wanted to know the truth, like, listen to what he's saying, or at least look at it, and take an objective look at it.
Yeah, but when you look at it, you have questions, don't you? And then you ask questions about it. And it is a model.
Absolutely.
It's a model much like any other model that's presented to people. So all you can do is look at it, consider it, ask questions that pop up in your mind,
Like, I'm not saying it's a majority, but I just heard, I don't know. Maybe it was just one person, but just kind of being shitty about it. Like, big deal or whatever. I was like, dude, you're probably one of those exact people that have been bitching and moaning up and down. Where's your model? And where's
you give me loads of models. You give me loads of models. That's just another one. The 2-pole flat Earth model is just another model that's presented. As for consideration. I didn't present it, but if you look at it.
Let's not forget the most important part of it, which is predicting things.
Well, how do you predict? So the Pac-Man equator, it goes in a straight line, right? But somehow it returns on itself. Which plane does that rotate in? That straight line that returns on itself?
Like, does the plane go into the vortex or whatever? Is that what you're saying?
Well, you know,
Like,
where does it go into the vortex? Where can that be observed?
so like on a Pac-Man model, right? So you're thinking from east to west.
On the two-pole
So,
flat Earth model, yeah. The equator goes in a straight line in the middle.
but his doesn't have that though, right?
No, it curls back somewhere, but I just wonder where that was. Where you would see that, what position you would experience that.
The Pac-Man effect?
Well, I don't know where the equator is no longer a straight line.
Yeah, man, it's wild.
Yeah, I
It's a
know.
wild.
The sun. Where does the sun cross over and go in the other direction?
Well,
What point is that?
it's not any, crazier than a sun that's 93 million miles away. I mean,
But we're not talking about that. We're talking about this model that's been presented.
Well, when you think about it on the globe,
miles.
so on the globe, when you think about it, so imagine like the GP of the sun on a globe. So you have the northern hemisphere, the equator, and the southern. So the sun would be going, when it's in the northern region, the sun would be going, like if you were seeing the 24-hour sun from left to right. So essentially clockwise if you're looking at it from above. So imagine the sun, the GP is going clockwise, going around the globe, as it were, from 23.4 degrees north, and then it starts going closer to the equator. And even when it's just north of the equator, the sun is like, if you were to look west on the equator, it's still arcing off to the right because, any latitude lines north of the equator on a globe, you'd have to turn your ship to the right. So it's still doing that. And then it goes on the equator, and this is all on the globe idea. And then when it goes south of the equator, it starts going to the left if you're looking west on the equator. So, and then it starts going counterclockwise. That's why in the Antarctic sun in the south, they see it going from right to left instead of left to right. So even on the globe, even though it's a different explanation, I mean, on the globe, it's okay. You got a globe Earth, and then the sun is very far away, and the tilting on its axis, and the spinning globe, and all of that. So it's a different explanation than a planar Earth would be. But if you have a planar Earth with the sun circuiting in one portion of it, one half of the plane, and then it transitions over the equator, it starts going counterclockwise versus clockwise, that's actually comparable to what is claimed to happen on a globe. It's just they say you're on a ball, and that's why it's going clockwise and counterclockwise. Whereas over a planar surface, it's just that the actual sun is doing that. The sun is actually going clockwise and then counterclockwise, and it just transitions over the equator, sort of like a figure eight, throughout the year. So it's actually comparable to what the current model is in that way.
Right. You do well to explain the globe, Gio, I must say, but you don't seem to explain it on the flat Earth. This is what I was asking about. Within this model, there must be a point where the sun crosses over and goes in the other direction if you're on the equator.
Correct. That's the equinox. That's that's the last thing I described.
Yeah, but where is that? Where is that actually, observed?
On the equator.
Where has that been observed on the equator, where the sun changes direction, crosses over like a figure of eight?
Right after the equinox. Yeah. When the sun is at 1 degrees north of the equator, it's going clockwise around the north, and it gets to the equator, and the moment it goes over the equator south, it starts going counterclockwise in the southern part of the world.
So on the 182nd and a half day, facing north, you'll see the sun going from left to right. And the 182nd and a half day of the south, you'll turn round and you'll see the sun going from right to left. Is that so?
Well, I mean, not that. What are you referring to? Where are you standing?
Well, I understand it's 182 days going left to right in the north. And then there's a transition of 12 hours for each 182-day period. to cross the equator. That's where it crosses somewhere. And then it's going in another direction for the other 182 days, from right to left. So I presume that on the 182 and a half day, up to that point, you'd be able to see it going left to right. And then you turn round, face south. And from that period on, you'd see the sun going from right to left.
If well, the thing is, to make that comparable, I get what you're saying now, but the thing is that when the sun is all the way to 23.4 south or 23.4 north, that's when you're seeing the dramatic clockwise and counterclockwise. When you're right over the equator, it's a very, very slight amount. But technically, in theory, if you were standing right under the equator, like right under it, and you're looking north when the sun is just north of the equator, yeah, technically the sun would be going right to left. And then the moment the sun goes across the equator and you then turn south, it's going the other way. So, I mean, technically, if you're right under the equator, you could detect that, but it'd be very difficult because it's such a minute little degree right there. But when you're all the way at the poles, when the sun is at 23.4 is when you can fully see that. But right on the day of the equinox, it's going to be, just a fraction of a degree.
Yeah, you would see that in your freeze frame flag model, though, wouldn't you?
I was trying to understand what you might be saying. Freeze frame flag. You mean when I talk about putting
Talk
flags
about
at the
freezing
GP?
everything, putting a flag in at the GPs of all those positions, and you would
So
be
you
able to
would
see
see that.
that idea.
So you would see that if you put flags, like let's say every hour under the sun while it's tracking. So you put a flag, hour later, flag, hour later, flag, hour later, flag. Then yeah, when the sun's north of the equator, you would see it arcing to the north, across that latitude line. And then when it goes south of the equator, the flags would arc to the left very minimally, very slightly. Yeah, if that's what you mean.
So there is a crossover point somewhere. It should be observed.
On the equator, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Where is that?
On the equinox, on the equator.
Well, a particular position it does? Is it constant or?
Well, when it hits zero is when it
Yeah,
transitions.
if you're in Ecuador, would it be there or would it be another position on the equator?
Well, I mean, the equator goes through Ecuador, but you'd have to be, if you're referring to being right under the equator. Yeah, I mean, the sun would be like 0.1 degrees north, and then it would go to 0.1 degrees south, within that transition. I'm just saying randomly, 0.1, it could be 0.01 or, yeah, from the north to the south.
I just see a crossover point somewhere where it crosses the figure of 8 and goes in the other direction. When for the next 182 days. I'm trying to imagine that, because we can only imagine it. I'm just trying to imagine it,
Well,
how that works.
if you had a big wide road and the equator was like the dotted line, like the way like when you cross over lanes in a car, you got to drive over the line to cross the lane. Well, imagine the equator is the line, and then you're in a car and you're on let's say the right side of the line, the north side of the line. You're looking west, let's say. So you're on the right side of the line, and you're going you're turning your wheel just slightly to the right, meaning you haven't passed over the line. So you're still turning your wheel a little bit to the right to stay in the northern hemisphere. And then if you were to start to change lanes, you would transition, you turn a little to the left, as it were. You would then kind of like a spiral corkscrew. But anyways, you would then cross over the line, like the equator. And then now that you're crossed over it, you're going to be turning your wheel a little bit to the left instead of to the right. So that's the difference. It's not really like any dramatic effect. It's just a very slight, like you're right of the line, so you're turning your wheel a little to the right. You change lanes, and now that you're on the left side of the line, you just keep your wheel turning a little to the left for the next 6 months.
Yeah, but you have changed lanes, though, haven't you? I mean, it is opposite to where you were going the first time.
Yeah, you instead of turning your wheel to the right, you've now started turning it to the left.
Yeah, so you'd know that, wouldn't you?
So you're turning it to the right for 6 months, and then when it transitions over the equator, it turns to the left for 6 months, and then back to the right for 6 months when it goes north, etc.
Yeah, but you'd know you were going around a corner in the other direction, wouldn't you, if you were turning?
You mean like the Earth?
So where did? Well, if you're looking west, then if you're in the north, and the sun is going left to right, when you turn looking south, it's now going right to left.
Yep. Yeah.
One point it's going from the east to the west, and then you turn around and it's coming from the west to the east.
Yeah, clockwise and counterclockwise.
There you go. That's what. So it must be a point where it crosses over. I wonder where that was.
Just like the stars. So the stars will make the clockwise and counterclockwise as well, and there's a transition at the equator. So all the stars in the north that are going counterclockwise at the equator start to go clockwise.
Isn't that where you're getting this idea from the stars?
I don't know if I'm getting the idea from it. I'm just describing what they do.
You can't describe it on the ground. You can only describe it as being in the sky.
Well, the stars are in the sky, but they have GPS and tracking points on the ground.
Yeah. Are there any GPs that don't have any of those celestials that don't have a GP?
Not that I'm aware of, but I haven't traversed the entire Earth and checked every GP myself. But my understanding is that every celestial body will have a GP at any
There are
time.
people all over the place, not like you. There must be people all over the place. There must be people who can report that they don't have a GP for the sun. Say there's a place where the sun doesn't have a GP.
How could that be if the sun's always above the Earth somewhere?
Well, exactly. So there couldn't be any other lands with this sun, could there? It's confined within the known GPs of the sun.
Yeah, but there could be land where we don't go to the GP, like in the South Pacific or Atlantic.
Okay, so there would be a whole new system that has nothing to do with this system that we're in, that relates to another place.
No, I didn't say that. I mean, that's
Well, it
another
has to be. If the sun has got known GPs,
Yeah, but have you
another place that we don't have the GP of.
No, what I'm saying is that the sun could be above a place, like let's say hidden land, that there is a GP for it, but you and I can't go check it if it's off limits to us. I mean, if that's what you're asking, I'm just saying, just because we can see the sun and it's claimed at the different positions it's in, it doesn't mean that you and I have been to underneath the sun for that time.
I see. So there's possibly two or more GPs for the sun. Then is that what you're saying?
No. Are you even listening?
Yeah, I am, because I know that the sun. You said the sun has known GPs. But you said that you could be under a place where we don't know, and the sun is the GP of that place that we don't know of. So that would mean that the sun has more than one GP simultaneously.
I think what he means is that there's places we can't go to, like it's off limits. They will not allow us to go to.
Where's that? That's off limits.
Dude, all I'm saying is, let's say when the sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn, which it's actually very close to it as we speak. Within a few days, it'll be right on it. So where the sun is right now, all I was saying is that the sun is on that Tropic of Capricorn. Somebody can see the sun at all times. Somebody in South America, South Africa, or Australia can point to the sun and say, there's the sun. And as far as we can say, the sun is on the Tropic of Capricorn. All I'm saying is that if there was some land somewhere along the Tropic of Capricorn that you and I can't go to, conceivably there would be a GP at that point that we can't get to. So meaning you and I can't get to it to say, hey, here it is. And that is one possible way of there being hidden land, because that's what you asked about. So I'm just saying there could be hidden land in a place.
It's hidden land on the Tropic of Cancer. Is that what you say? Or Tropic of Capricorn? There's hidden land on that. that
I said
circle.
if there was. You were asking the question. Don't pin some assertion. I didn't make an assertion of
If there was, I'm just entertaining the
all
idea
over
of if
the
there
place.
was. That's
You're
all.
just
You said
all
it.
over the place asking questions, and you don't seem to be being genuine. So you don't seem to be listening. And then you make up something. Every time I say something, you make up
Gio, it's
something
your
I
model
didn't
you're
say.
describing. I'm just
I have to
asking questions about
continually
it.
Every single thing I've said, you've made up something I didn't say, and I've had to just continue to correct the straw man. So I'm just not interested.
Well, it's just your model you're describing. I'm just asking questions about what you're telling me. And you're saying, it seems to me, that if the sun is over the Tropic of Capricorn, it's possible there's hidden lands there that we don't know of.
You asked about hidden lands.
It's in the middle of the ocean or something.
I didn't assert hidden lands. You're jumping around and scattergunning a bunch of things. You mentioned hidden lands, and all I said is if there were hidden lands, they could be at a GP point that we cannot physically access. That's all I said.
The GP of our sun.
And so you asked about them. So hypothetically, I was giving you the response in terms of how the GPs.
Yes. That's when I said that means that the sun would have more than one GP.
And I did not say that, so I had to correct you when you said, so you're saying the sun has more than one GP. I never said that, never alluded to it, never even close to even mention that at all. You said, if there's hidden land, could there be a GP above that land? I never said anything about multiple GPs.
Where are these places?
Where you got that.
Where are these places we can't go to that you're talking about them?
I never said there were. You asked hypothetically if
there could be. There could be. There could be places we can't go to where that has a GP that we can't go to.
You disagree with that?
Well, I don't know. If the sun has got a circuit and a GP positions, then I can't see how it can have a GP position in another place further away, much further away, south, outwards. I don't understand how there's a GP with another place somewhere else.
So you don't think there's a ground position that's under the sun as the sun is moving across the plane?
That's what I said. It's known that the sun has the known GPs, but Geo seems to be saying it could be a GP of another place that we can't go to.
So then you know that there's going to be more than one GP, and you ask the question as if like.
I don't know that at all. I know there's one GP for the sun at any given moment.
I think that's what he was meaning by you're kind of all over the place, because it is kind of hard to follow.
I'm not all over the place. I'm following. I'm not all over the place. Because that would be, if you were 79 degrees south, looking south at the sun, circling your head for 24 hours, you're looking at the sun in the south, the sun's in the sky in the south. What's the GP of the sun there then?
I'm struggling to see the point of what you're trying to prove.
Yeah, you generally do and ask a question. Suddenly you can't see it anymore, but you're pretty good at seeing everything else. If the sun has known GPs, surely you could tell me what the GP of the sun would be at that position.
Well, but that's what he was saying. There is.
Where would that be then? On the flat Earth? You
mean you want him to tell you the GP of the sun as it goes across the flat Earth?
I'm talking to you. You can answer. If you know, you could tell me. Because the GPs are known of the sun. You can find out the GP of the sun.
Well, I don't want to speak for him, so go ahead, Gio. I'm sorry.
You don't want to speak for yourself? Not yourself either?
Well, I mean, I'm glad to go along with this with you. I just didn't want to bust in on Gio. I didn't know if Gio
You did just bust in. You took it over, explaining what Gio was saying. Now you can't explain what you're saying.
That's what I mean by all over the place.
Yeah, they're just questions, mate. They're just questions. They come up in my mind and I have to ask them because people claim to know. And I don't know. So I can only ask the people who know or claim to know and see if I can get an answer and go, oh, okay, I get it now. I get it. Sorry, man. Okay, I'm with you.
You think there's an answer out there that's like that, though? Like, do you think there's an answer?
Or what I would see is if there wasn't an answer, it would be a further road closer to truth. That's what I believe.
So
We could get to understand something that was, a bit more real than the doors that get closed at the 60th parallel or whatever.
So if we were able to tell you the ground position of the sun across the flat Earth, then that would be good enough for you.
Well, it's an intriguing question. Yes, it would be. It would be interesting for you to tell me what the GP was. Looking south at the sun in the sky, in the south, for 24 hours, where the GP of the sun would be. Because, it's known, it should be easy.
Yeah, it would be on the ground under the sun at any particular time.
Yeah,
I have a question.
But is that the hidden lands, though? Is that the lands we don't know of?
Do you think there is or not? What do you think? Do you think there are lands that are hidden or no?
I've got no idea, mate. I've got no idea. I tell you what, I'm looking. I'm on the beach now.
Yeah, go ahead. Who else was? Yeah, we're good.
I have a question if I can ask one for 1 second.
Anything other than this? Yeah, go ahead.
Anything other than this? Yeah, go on.
No, I just had a question because I live in Los Angeles, California, and I was outside today and the sun was right over my head, and I'm looking at this map you posted, and supposedly there's no sun in California in this month.
Right over your head. You sure?
It was in the sky. I mean, I could see the sun.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
And according to this map that Geo posted, I'm not supposed to have sun in December. So I'm just curious.
So that's it. You have to wait for 182 and a half days. It'll come back. Don't worry.
What is your question?
My question is, you posted something in the chat, Gio, and I'm just trying to understand because today I had sun, but according to what you posted, I don't have sun in December.
That's false. With that map, if the sun is in the south, what you see the sun rising south of west and then setting south of east?
Not according to this map. I live in Los Angeles. I don't even see the sun. Look at it.
Okay. I think you don't have an understanding of how the sun path works on that potentially. Is that what you're asking about? How you see the sun when you're in the north?
What I'm saying is that I just looked at this little.
By the way, I'm not claiming this map. Okay, just because I posted it, it doesn't mean I'm claiming that's what the Earth is. You know that, right?
I don't know. I'm just asking because according to what you posted, it doesn't make any sense. So I'm just trying to understand it. That's all.
Okay, what doesn't make sense for your mind? What's the problem?
Well,
the sun is circulating in the south, and you see the sun rising and setting south of east and south of west. What's the problem with that?
The sun doesn't even go anywhere near me, according to this map, in the wintertime.
That's false. It's in your southern sky. It's rising low on the horizon.
I'm just saying, Gio, listen, I'm looking at the thing you posted, and if you watch it, in the winter months, the sun doesn't even come near California. It just goes south of the equator. Never comes near you. Just watch it. I mean, it doesn't even come near me. Look at it now. September, down there. Never comes close to even the United States.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get an image because it doesn't seem like you're going to be able to understand how it works without seeing something. Sounds like.
No, you posted this thing. I'm just trying to understand it. That's all. I don't understand.
I know you don't.
If you post it, if you post it, why would you post it if that's not what you believe?
Because people can. Well, now you have another question. So you're doing what Elderbear is doing. So let's just pause.
No.
Just relax. I'm going to find an image for you. So you're going to have to wait.
I'm just asking about the image you posted. I
know you are. So you're going to have to wait.
I asked a simple question, why I can't see the sun when I saw it today.
I know you are, and you're going to have to wait. I'm almost there.
You didn't answer me. You just keep.
I know you're going to have to wait. I thought I had one already drawn. I'm going to draw another one. You're going to have to wait. Do something else for 10 seconds. You have a question.
Wouldn't you want him to be clear? Like, wouldn't you want him to like tell you what, like, be open and honest about what he really is saying? Like,
Ooh.
Yeah, first of all, somebody can post something and not necessarily assert that that's what it is, if fully,
Well,
which
why
is the
post
case,
it?
because you asked about the figure eight sun, and that one showed the figure eight sun.
But it doesn't make any sense, Gio. That's what
I
I'm saying.
understand you. Okay, listen. I understand.
Hang on,
you're,
Gio. Is it the
you're
idea that
having
we just
problems.
blindly accept what you say and not have questions about it?
Hey, hold on for a second.
I thought that was the whole point. You know,
Hold
some
on, everybody, do not interrupt. Everybody calm down. Robert has asked a question. I am procuring the information for him. He said he's very confused and conflicted. I'm confirming that, and I'm simply posting an image. I'm almost ready for it with it. You asked a question. We'll go through one thing at a time. We're not going to do like scattergunning and all this stuff. Okay. I am not claiming this map at all. Never have. I posted it because you asked about how the sun would move in a figure eight pattern. That GIF that I found somebody else made generally shows the path of how the sun would do that. That doesn't mean I'm claiming that this is what the map is. So that's one first thing to clarify. Secondly, hold on for a second. Secondly, the general idea on this type of layout, I drew all the green lines. So if you're in Los Angeles, you're seeing the sun rise low on your horizon looking south. It will rise to your left, south of east. It will then go fairly low on the horizon, depending on your position. Although if you're in the LA, it's going to be a little higher than people that are northern. And then it will set. So you're seeing the sun. Just because the sun is in the southern region, the GP of the sun on the globe is also in the southern part of the globe, and you're seeing it from Los Angeles. You know that, right? The ground position of the sun when it's in the southern portion of the globe, in your belief, if that's what you believe, is in the southern portion. Well, in this, this is a stereographic projection of spherical coordinates onto a planar surface. So you also will see the sun, sort of like those green lines that will be rising, setting in your southern sky.
Yeah, but you said that the sun is moving in a different direction, and so even if I could see the sun, it would be moving in a different direction, which it isn't.
No, it is not moving in a different direction from your perspective. Okay, were you not finished?
I'm just saying. You said that if you're, I'm in Los Angeles. I know I look at every day. I go to see the sunset every day. It does not do what you're saying in this picture.
Okay, are you finished now?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to just say on one thing at a time, since you're asking about this. And I'm just giving you this general type of thing. So when you said the sun is moving in a different direction, from your position, it is still moving east to west. Like I drew those green arrows now on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's not moving in a different position. It's rising east and setting to the west.
So why is it dark for me?
That would happen on this when the sun is over on the other side of Antarctica, basically. When it's nighttime for you is when the sun's far away. It's when it's all the way like over near Australia.
so does it get dark around like what, 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:15 ish?
What? Here in LA today? Around 5:30. Yeah. 5:30.
5:30. That's how it is. Yeah, that's where I'm in Colorado. So
It doesn't make any sense to me, but whatever. If that's what you believe, God bless you.
Are you saying that to me?
Yeah, he didn't say he believed in. He just told you that he just posted it. He didn't say that.
I just the whole thing doesn't make any sense. Do you believe it or you don't believe it? It's like I don't know. I never know your position on anything. Every time you say I'm not asserting that. Well, what do you believe? Give me something you believe in.
Well, that's a start. That's a start. You ask somebody. That's a good start.
I know.
So instead of just assuming, straw manning, making claims, somebody posts something and you think that means. I mean, people post all kinds of things. So that's a good start. I commend you for a valiant start.
Can I ask you now?
I mean, he also asked before. He just asked that he didn't understand it. To be fair.
But there was also too for whatever reason there's this hurry up, tell me, come on, Gio, and he's like, dude, chill out.
I didn't do that.
Oh, what the heck? Yeah, you did. You're like all over.
This
No.
is similar to the Elderbear thing, but it's somewhat more cohesive. Because what Elderbear does is he asks you questions and then asks you to be hypothetical, and then we'll straw man your entire position, and then we'll claim that you claimed it, and we'll run around. It's incredibly.
According to
You
this,
had every opportunity to give me a response, Gio. Nobody stopped you from giving a response to my questions, has they? Don't blame it on me and try and tell everybody it's my fault, because I have some questions about your model that you say isn't your model, but you promote it endlessly. And it started here. The roots of, as far as I know, the roots of the whole flat Earth model are rooted in Earth awakenings. They've gone out from there to the world. And you promote that. It's not my fault. I'm just asking questions about what you're promoting and suggesting or hypothesizing. Everybody has questions. You give somebody a model, they can ask questions about it. You don't blame me because I have questions.
Okay, well, I'm not blaming you. Hold on, we're going to clarify that. I'm not blaming you because you have questions. Okay, we're going to clarify that. What I said, Elder Bear, is that you were asking questions, and then you were asking me, for example, to be hypothetical where hidden land would be, and then you were saying, Geo says there's hidden land. Well, in that moment, I didn't say anything that there was hidden land. You asked hypothetically if there was a GP under a position of hidden land. That's all I'm referring to. And then you were making a whole thing around that as if I said that. That's all I was referring to.
You posed it as a hypothetical that, you know, on the Tropic of Capricorn, there were places we can't go to where the sun has a GP that isn't somehow the GP that we know it is. So it sounded like to me. It sounded like when we were talking about, you know, other lands, another place where it could be the GP of, you said, well, how do you know it can't be? And then you went to the Tropic of Capricorn and suggested there may possibly be places we can't go to where the sun that we have has another GP and a place that we can't go to. Sounded like that to me. That's why I asked the question.
Okay, well, that's
Now
not what I said at all. No, that's not what I said. No, you were asking. No, you were asking about the sun. That's not how it went at all, dude. You can go back on the recording. That's just so. You're just a very manipulative individual. Yeah, you're just being incredibly manipulative, trying to manipulate the discussion in all kinds of ways. Because that's not what I said. But you were asking about the GP. You said if there was hidden land, would there be a GP under that land? And I said yes. If there is hypothetically hidden land, there would be a GP at that point. And then you said something about, are you saying there's two GPs? I never said there were two GPs.
So if there is hidden lands and there's a GP of our sun on that hidden land, and all the GPs of the sun are known, then it would have two GPs simultaneously.
Where are you getting two GPs from?
You just said that hypothetically, if there were other lands that had a GP to the sun, then that would be another place. That would be two places, one that we know of and one we don't know of.
I never said anything like that.
That's what it sounded like to me.
Okay, well then you're hearing things that I'm not saying. I'm sorry to hear that.
What I'm saying is that if we have a system where the GP of the sun is known, then that sun can't be GP of another place we don't know. Going south on the flat Earth, further and further, beyond where, you know, the limits of what anybody might believe or might know, or, you know, now we have 79 degrees, into 79 degrees. Previously a 60-degree parallel to what is another question, but you know, that was seemingly the limit, but now we have 79 degrees, and going south, it must carry on, surely.
Okay, so going back, Robert, when you asked, now that you did ask what my actual position is, so this is my position. The Earth is planar and the Earth is stationary. There are two poles. There's the northern rotation of stars, the southern rotation of stars. The stars go straight at the equator. There is a 24-hour sun in the north, and there is a 24-hour sun in the south. So my position is that the Earth is planar and has two poles. And there are GPs underneath the stars, and there are GPs underneath the sun. So if you were to track this, if you take a look at this image, can you see in the chat? Robert?
I don't. You haven't posted anything in a few minutes.
Okay, so this is a sphere. There's a sphere in the center. On the lower, it shows an azimuthal equidistant of like the southern part of the sphere. You see that vertical wall? Well, that vertical wall is what's called a stereographic projection of spherical coordinates. So my position is that vertical wall is the spherical coordinates onto a planar surface. And it's called stereographic because you have the North Pole, the South Pole, and the equator. So what I say, and what I think is the case, is that we're on a planar surface with no curvature, no motion, and the sky matches that vertical wall, which is which are spherical coordinates, but they're on a flat plane. So whatever the sky is, whether it's slightly curved or flat, I'm not claiming what the sky is in terms of its shape, but how we observe it is with these two poles in the straight line at the equator. That's about as far as I can go because I have not mapped the entire Earth. So okay. I don't think it's the AE map. I do not think that's correct. The azimuthal equidistant map, the one that's been touted to be a flat earther map. I do not think that one's correct. But I do not know what the correct map is because I have never mapped the Earth. I don't know what the entire full model is because I've never modeled the entire Earth. I do think the Earth is planar and stationary, and it has two poles. Now, these maps that are going around are already known projections. They're not new. However, these do match a two-pole type system. Therefore, they're being discussed as kind of a blueprint, as an idea, as a speculation. Some people maybe would say that they think it is this. Some people, there's a wide range. But I am not claiming that it is this map. Just because I post it and talk about it does not mean that I'm saying it is the actual map. But I do think we're on a two-pole planar surface.
So, okay, so now it makes perfect sense. So, yes, exactly. Everything you said is exactly what we experience, that the stars rotate counterclockwise in the northern hemisphere, clockwise in the southern hemisphere, and they go across straight at the equator, and all that is exactly what is the truth. What happens in the sky? Where I think the differentiation is that you don't believe it's a globe. I think you're just saying it's some sort of a flat surface, but you don't really know what it looks like.
I think it's a flat surface that is
generalization.
The land is laid out between the two poles. So if you have the North Pole where you get the 24-hour sun and Polaris, and then you have the stars that are all rotating going out from there, and then you have the equator, the equatorial region, which is kind of a straight line of stars, which is what that vertical wall shows, which is the stereographic projection of a sphere. By the way, that is also the electric field lines, like of an electric circuit. So this is something that is universal in nature, like that dual pole pattern. It's like it's in electricity, it's in a toroidal field, like a toroidal pattern. It's in like wind vortexes and water. Like if you drag like a paddle through water, you'll get that clockwise and counterclockwise rotation. You see it like when birds fly.
Okay, but let me just.
Here I have.
Here's my point. So basically, what I'm saying is that what we experience and I'll just say the globe, because that's the way it is. But what I'm saying is, what we experience on the globe, you believe it's a planar surface, and they're trying to make it make sense on that planar surface, but you guys just haven't figured it out yet.
I don't know. I'm not saying any of those things, but if those are your words, I'm just trying to understand. Okay, if you're asking if I'm not. What I'm saying is that if you have the two poles, the North Pole with the stars coming out and the 24-hour sun in the north, then you have the South Pole with the stars coming out from the South Pole, the southern star rotation, and the 24-hour sun there. That if that's above a planar surface, then the land is laid out between those two poles. That's correct. That's as far as I can, because I have not mapped the entire Earth. I haven't been able to model the entire Earth. So, but we can see the sky, and we can see how the sky functions. And there is a North Pole and a South Pole, and the northern continents and southern continents. So my understanding is that that's going to be laid out on a planar surface underneath those two poles. And when you look at this sky pattern, it fits the exact field lines of an electric field and of spherical coordinates in a stereographic fashion.
Can I ask a question to you?
I understand. Just let me make one more point, and I'll let everyone talk. I just want to make one more point here. I understand what you're saying, but what I'm saying is that everything.
Hey, everybody. From the title, you can see that my guest